Morning, morning. Test, test. So everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Hey Steve, good morning, bro. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Cool.
What were you up to today in Australia?
Man, we were, it was day 2 of exploring the rainforests.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Kind of crazy observation though is, I mean, like we're walking around the rainforests and like there's no animals. I know there is, but they're like hiding. I'm trying to
Right.
find the cassowaries, the dangerous birds.
You and the birds,
And we
man.
noticed
You
like
and the
in
birds.
town, oh, I'm sorry.
I said you and the birds, bro. You got a special relationship.
Dude, Australia, I mean, anybody listening, you guys could chime in, but there's birds everywhere. There's cockatoos everywhere. There's parrots everywhere. It's like a crazy bird country. They don't even allow cats here because cats hunt birds. They're protecting the birds like everywhere from what I see. So I don't know, some of you guys from Australia maybe could chime in on that. It's an interesting observation, but I think they love birds more than me.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, the rainforests, really beautiful trees, just not many animals. We see more animals here in the cities.
That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
So good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. Hope everyone's doing well.
Don't worry, guys. I got a whole set to get to in a little bit, so it's going to be exciting. They're like, no more birds.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's up, George? Is that George?
That's
Yes,
George.
it is.
What's up, man?
Filming day.
How you doing?
Good, good, man. How you doing? Everything's good?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Just excited for Orlando.
Yeah. It should be a good time.
Man, it's coming up fast.
I know.
So are you down in Miami now?
Yep, in Miami right now for a few days, doing some content with Alex and
Cool.
trying to get this YouTube thing going. So we appreciate everyone's likes, comments, and views. And yeah, it's been going pretty well. I mean, the YouTube's definitely moving up.
Yeah, and like I was saying yesterday, the videos that you guys have been shooting, that you've been putting together, I mean, it's really entertaining, really awesome. And I hope all you guys listening are checking those videos out because it's really great content. A lot of fun.
Look at these guys in the chat, man.
You see this? I haven't put the magic rug. Look, this is the rug that I have right down here.
I know.
He says that's the one that Anas is flying on, dude.
Oh, man.
You kind of look like James here a little bit. Like James with a beard.
No. Oh, man.
So we'll get started here in a couple minutes, guys. Alright, let's do it. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to live trading. If this is your first time on live trading, welcome. We are using the webinars channel in Slack to communicate. As you guys know, we stream live on YouTube every single day at 9 a.m. and then we cut off the stream at 9:29 a.m. And reserve that for MIC members. As you guys know, I ended last month with a pretty annoying losing streak. So, let me actually pull this up. I ended up having 4 red days in a row: July 27, July 28, July 29, and July 30th. And man, I can't remember the last time that I had 4 losing days in a row, and it was just really frustrating and really annoying. But it turned out that it was because of that Leopold Ostenbrenner hedge fund blowup. So I was trying to bounce these memory names, but there just kept being like an endless seller, an endless seller, an endless seller. And, I didn't realize until later that that endless seller was a forced liquidation, which led to all these losses, which is a crazy story, you know? So my thought process was I want to stream every single day until I make back that loss live on YouTube, the full sessions, the full everything, as a way to kind of show you guys how to bounce back from a loss. And, you know, thankfully that Friday, I ended my losing streak with a $10,000 day. And then that kind of led to, you know, yesterday, which was my biggest day in a couple months, $62,617, all streamed live on YouTube. So if you haven't seen that YouTube video, it's free. It's on the channel. It's 2.5 hours long, and you can see everything. So we'll talk about that. But, you know, with that being said, I will no longer be running the YouTube all day. If you want to watch the channel, if you want to watch the live trading, you got to join. It's 50% off. It's $250. It's really nothing. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just glad to be able to demonstrate by example, taking a loss, going on a losing streak, and then coming back from that losing streak and more with the proper setup and the proper opportunity. So with that being said, let's talk about some overall market action before we get into anything else. So first things first is it's really been bothering me that every single stock that's been moving has been less than a million share flow. I mean, this is just really, really annoying and really, really difficult. As a short bias trader, you don't want to be shorting these things that have less than a million share flow. It's very difficult. It's very tough. So for me, everything that I'm seeing that's moving lately is freaking low float, nano float garbage. And that's just really, really annoying because it's very easy as a short bias trader to get trapped. You know, if you're a long bias trader, low flow is your best friend. But as a short bias trader, which I am, which I've been doing for 12.5 years, man, it's a freaking headache. So every day that we've been waking up, you know, I've been seeing way more of these nano float stocks, these low float runners, and it just really discourages me from waking up early because you start to get tempted. You know, like I don't really want to trade these things pre-market because pre-market has more risk than reward. So I've been purposely trying to wake up a little bit later, show up a little bit later so that I don't have to, you know, find myself getting trapped in these setups. So low float, nano float on day one is big trouble. But day two, I'm going to be all over it, right? So the main thing yesterday was AMIX. So AMIX, I took a couple of losses on this before I finally got it right. And the reason why I was so focused on this AMIX yesterday is really simple, actually. So number one is if you haven't gone through our educational videos, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, we've even, thanks to Anas, narrowed it down to like bite-sized 5 to 10 minute videos. So, you know, this is something that we call the low-hanging fruit setup. You know what I'm saying? And if you know anything about the low-hanging fruit setup, it's a very high probability setup. So just the spark notes on it, if you have not watched the video, which I'm sure you should do, is basically a stock that runs on day one, that on day two, it starts to fail. So what you have to remember is a lot of these stocks are based on hype. They're not really based on anything else. So when you have a stock like AMIX that runs from literally $3 to $25 in a day, that's not because they cured cancer. That's not because they're an AI data center company. It's not because they're into Bitcoin mining. It's all just hype, right? It's all just hype, you know? And eventually when that hype dies down, you know, prices are going to come back down to reality. The best example that I use is like when you're buying these like sneakers, like the Yeezys. The Yeezys are worth like $200, let's say, right? But because they're hyped up, people start selling them for $1,000, right? They go up 400 or 500%. When that hype dies down, they're not going to keep selling at $1,000. They're going to come back down to reality, which is the price of $200. So these stocks, when the reality kicks in, they come back to normal. So I want to try to piggyback and join. That downtrend. So on AMIX, we had a low-hanging fruit, which in and of itself is a very high 90% setup, right? It's not very often that we get a really, really good, really, really clean low-hanging fruit. That's what we got yesterday. On top of that, what you have to remember is there was multiple other stocks with money flow on the day. We saw not one, not two, not three, 4 different stocks with money flow. So we saw 4 day 1 stocks running, and a day 2 stock that was forgotten was bouncing. So my stock selection and my process told me, instead of trying to be aggressive on the day 1 stocks, I have to be aggressive on the day 2 forgotten names, which was AMIX. So this thing ran a little bit more than I expected, but you know, once it kind of failed, you know, it was just down to the woodshed. You know, it was not really there. I made 62 grand yesterday, but honestly, I underperformed. You know, had I not taken, you know, 2 paper cuts on the way up, taking losses, I would have been a little bit more patient. I would have probably been more aggressive, and I probably would have made like 100 grand yesterday. But I can't complain. I cannot complain. So yeah, that's just the thing is, and also the main thing that I want to kind of harp on is the difference of position sizing. I often find that many people oversize their positions nonstop. For example, if I am saying I'm taking a starter, a lot of people, I'm sorry, are idiots and are going 5 times leveraged on that starter position. So I'm taking 1/10 of my position and someone's taking 500% of their sized position. Shit makes no sense. Shit makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing is understanding the difference between a starter size, scaling in, adding to the winner. And if you do not understand those concepts, you are not ready to size up yet. Remember, the goal of live trading is not for you to copy my trades, you know, like a mirror. I don't recommend that. I think you're going to lose money if you do that. My goal is to demonstrate to you the process in action. So not only are you learning by watching the videos, you're learning by watching it being demonstrated. It's like reading a book about basketball and then watching someone play basketball at the same time after. You can't just read about it, you have to see it being demonstrated as well. So my goal is to demonstrate our process in real time with live trading. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, first things first is we always start by building the watch list. The way that we build the watch list is we always go to the previous day's watch list first and build from there. Why do we go to the previous day's watch list? Because stocks in play yesterday tend to still be in play today. So let's get started. AMIX. AMIX is a low float stock. I think yesterday was the best possible opportunity. Today it's kind of chopping around, so I'm not really that interested in trading it today. You know, can you make an argument to short it at like 15 bucks today? I mean, you can make that argument. You know, you can make that argument. But for me, I think there's going to probably be a lot better setups. So I'm not really interested in this AMIX. YXT, if you look at this chart, doesn't this look very, very similar to AMIX? Stock ran up, and then now day 2 is down 50%. Look at AMIX. Stock ran up, day 2 is down 50%. So if this YXT bounces, this is literally the same setup as yesterday. Literally the same setup. The exact same setup, you know? So hopefully on this YXT, we can get a pretty big bounce on it. You know, I see this 1550 area. That'd be nice. You know, 1550, 17, and kind of call it, you know, 18. This stock has tremendously wide range. Wide range equals less size. So YXT, I see 15, 17, and 18 areas to scale in short. Stock has wide range, so use less size. Oh shit, did it just have an offering?
It looks like it.
It just had an offering.
Jeez. Wow.
Fuck. As I'm typing the goddamn plan, bro.
Can't make this shit up.
It just went from 11 to 6.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, there goes that fucking play, right? There goes that fucking play. So, one of these, delete. Fuck. So you see, guys, already the stock selection is correct. You know what I'm saying? Like already, even before we do it, the stock selection is correct. Let's move on to the next one. INLF. INLF, very similar again. Every single stock that was moving yesterday, I want to be focused on today. This INLF, maybe this red to green rejection, like 630, 630, 7, and 750. So INLF, looking for a red to green rejection. Ideally 630, 7, 750 to scale in short. One sec. Next is JLHL. Same thing, stock ran yesterday. Ideally, what we want to see is we want to see a bounce. I would like to see like 1050, 11, and 1150. JLHL, 1050, 11, 1150 to scale in short. ZYBT also. So as you guys can see, guys, every single stock that's moving yesterday, I'm trying to put it back on play because if these things bounce, it should be a high probability setup, you know? So this ZYBT, you know, $3 would be a little bit more ideal for me on this. So I'll kind of watch a $3 rejection in ZYBT, looking for a $3 rejection short. Now let's kind of move on to what's moving today. CELZ, you know, $1 stock grinding up, not really of interest. PAVS is a potential money flow name, it looks like. Kind of holding for now. Let's see what the float on this is. 1 million in Chinese. So that's probably going to be an ignore. So PAVS, ignore, low float, Chinese. Next is WYHG. 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 Oh yeah, INLF, my bad. So another WYHG, another low float Chinese stock. This one's even lower. So ignore low float Chinese. And then CLRO. CLRO. This one's a lower float stock. It's USA. But if you look at this daily chart on CLRO, you can see that usually when it pops, it kind of comes back. It pops, it comes back. It pops, it comes back. You know, this is a pretty big move from, you know, $4 to $11. You know, in a perfect world, you know, I do see this having potential to be a runner. But also, if we start to break down this 930-ish area here, you know, that would be the key level for me. So I'll probably ignore this CLRO until this 930 area breaks down. Potential hot stock of the day. Ignoring shorts until 930s breaks down. So that's pretty much the plans for today. So let me just kind of share these out and then we'll get started to the next section. So as you can see, guys, I'm not really that interested in these day one plays until they break down the key areas. I'm coming off a very, very big winning day yesterday. So normally your brain tells you that you want to have another winning day like that. And oftentimes what I would end up doing is I would also size up today, trying to replicate a day like yesterday, and I'd end up losing money. So now after, you know, 12 years of doing this stuff, you know, I've recognized those emotions and I've recognized that. And now I'm just going to take it a little bit slower. So there's that. One more thing before we, let me actually just pull this up. So one more thing before we continue is our partnered brokers. We've mentioned multiple times, guys, that we do not endorse or we do not recommend these prop firms, these funded accounts, you know, trade the pool and all that other stuff. They are designed for you to lose money. Those companies only win money if you fail their challenges. So it's in their best interest for you to fail their challenge. So we only recommend Cobra Trading, Big Trades, and Zimtra, which are regulated brokers, not overseas things. So if you are using a funded account, be very careful. When MIC, as research purposes, tried using them and we passed their challenges, we never got a payout. They banned our account. So chances are, if you do make money on it, they're going to ban your account. So there's a promo going on with Cobra Trading, which is the broker that we use. If you sign up, you get 30 days in free commissions. You get $500 in locate fee credits. And we're going to be selecting 5 people to come trade live with me in person. And if you don't have the account minimum for Cobra, which is $10,000, then you can get started with Big Trades, which is their sister company, for $2,500 account opening, and you'll get $200 in locate fee credits. So, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people try to go to these funded accounts, but I'm telling you guys, they will not pay you out. And the only way they'll pay you out is if you start becoming an affiliate and trying to bring other people into them. So it's like a multi-level marketing scheme, you know what I'm saying? So be very careful. And yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to pass the baton over to Steve here. We're going to get started live trading in the next 8 minutes.
So first of all, if you guys are listening to me come into webinars in Slack, I resent a lot of Slack invites this morning. A lot of you on 30-day trials, but you're not accepting your Slack invite. And then I'm getting messages about, how do I do this or that, which are all resources that we have inside Slack. So for a 30-day trial, Slack, or email me if you want me to resend it, StephenRH1@myinvestingclub.com, and I'll be happy to resend it. Okay, so first thing, I want to remind you guys here in webinars in Slack about the Alex AI. So Alex AI version 2, I was kind of playing around with it. Some questions that I got from members, I answered. I didn't use this thing to answer for me, but I answered, and then I checked. I put the same questions in here, and the answers were, pretty much along the lines of what I said, but a lot more detail, right? So anyways, not saying you guys, should only use this.
I think Steve lost you for a sec.
Could you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, sorry guys. It's this Wi-Fi. I just switched hotels. I'll try to get through this. If I cut out again, just let me know. Sorry guys. So anyways, for Alex AI, put your charts in there, put any questions in there. It's really, really smart. We did some examples of this a couple weeks ago, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it does a really good job on stock analysis, chart analysis, even before you take the trade or after you trade. Questions in there, and it's really interesting. Okay, so next, I want to kind of talk about a lot of DMs that I got today and yesterday. Yesterday, one sec, let me post this. I'm going to post my chart from yesterday's AMIX trade. And I'm going to post a comment in after hours from Trev. I think it's a good comment. I had a lot of DMs that were, hopefully you guys can still hear me okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I had a lot of, okay, cool, thanks. I had a lot of DMs that were kind of asking about sizing and, where was the risk and where should, we be adding and all this kind of stuff. So Trev left a nice post in after hours, and he basically said that, yesterday's session was a clinic in sizing, stopping out and reattacking. There's no reason to get smoked on stocks like this, but staying super small before it confirms has changed his trading. So I had some members tell me and show me that they crushed it yesterday, and I had some members that told me that AMIX was a really tough ticker. So that's first, right? This is my chart here, just so I could kind of talk about it. You guys should be able to see it in webinars. Operating. Shoot. Could you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so I want to, guys, front side, back side, this is a topic that we go over a lot, right? So here's my graphic on front side, back side. They go over this topic every week in the one-on-one mentoring and the discipline workshop mentoring channel with Phil Uchinetson. But here's the topic. Now look at the chart that I posted, my chart from yesterday. Look at the price action on this. Did I trade this perfectly? No. Was this a tough ticker? Absolutely. But look at the chart, and I know it's easier in hindsight, But I went back and I looked at it again carefully in hindsight, because that's what I always try to do. We really never confirmed under VWAP or backside until that kind of final fail after that, the trend broke. We had that kind of failed higher high, then we had a lower low, right? Then we got under VWAP, and that's when, most of us that sized in small and were able to withstand that did pretty well, right? So anyways, I just want to remind you guys, if you don't have a full plan, if you don't know what your full size is, saying or hearing 10% or thinking I should only put 10% doesn't mean a whole lot, because you really need to define what that is. So you need to define, is this my A plus setup? Is it a B setup? My sizing for that is X, right? Whatever that sizing is. So whatever that sizing is for you, that's your max size you're willing to put on that trade, right? So the rule here is 30%-ish until the trade confirms and or is under VWAP. This thing got under VWAP, you could see it here on my chart, but under that kind of 1530 line, broke VWAP, and then it was pretty smooth sailing after that, right? Once backside was clearly in, we confirmed lower lows, lower highs. So that should have been the point where we got a little more aggressive based on MIC process, right? So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know I added, up into VWAP thinking it would break. Before that, didn't break. I had to stop. This was a tough ticker, but in hindsight, just make sure you guys always have your max size idea of what that is with your plan in place. You can't just come into a trade thinking, I'm going to locate these shares and I'm going to use it. And if it confirms later, I'm going to locate more shares and use it. You've got to know, like for this trade, I'm going to put 1,000 shares on, for example. So, my starters are 5 to 10%, 100 shares, 20%, 200 shares. You've got to keep that small. When these things confirm and when they're backside, when they're under VWAP, that's when you get closer or to, basically above that 30%, closer or to that 100% max. So a lot of questions on this, definitely a tough ticker. Some members struggled with it. Some members did really well. A lot of members were kind of in the middle. The members who did well were the ones that kept their size in check, recognize it's above VWAP, keep it small, and then when it confirmed, they got in bigger. It's not always easy to do, but we've got a disciplined workshop to help you guys. We've got the one-on-one mentoring channel. If you guys need any questions or calls, RA's usually in there handling it. And Phil Uchinetson have a disciplined workshop mentoring group that you guys can join for free for a week, which is focused on helping you guys to properly plan and execute your trades. So anyways, like I said, they also go over these kind of topics every day. So anyways, hope this was helpful. Hope I addressed some of the questions. Definitely not an easy trade by any means. It was a tough one, but in the future, and thanks for posting that, Phil, in the future, just make sure you guys are watching where the trend is. And if that gets a little tough, focus on VWAP. If we're above VWAP, we want to generally keep it small. Cool. So I'll hand it back over. We're going to open up, market's going to open up here soon. If you guys on YouTube have any questions or you want to join, email me, StephenRH1@myinvestingclub.com. And yeah, see you guys inside.
Yep.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Elise.
Sounds good. So we're going to end the stream on YouTube here. Stream live every day last week, every day yesterday. And let's get started.